Hey guys, I'm Larissa Sullivan. I will be your concessions manager for this year. I'm going to walk through some steps on how to get into the concessions. We're going to do an opening and how to cook the food, and then also a closing, a few different duties. So in order to get in, we're going to have you go ahead before you come to your dib. If you are opening, you're going to go ahead and you're going to email the volunteer@brainerdhockey.com to get the code, okay? And then when you come and you get the code, you're gonna come in here, the keypad, and you're gonna type that number in, end with pound always. We have 3 doors on the front. 2 of 3 have locks. I'll show you where the keys are. When you come to do your shift, you're gonna make sure that you have all 3 of the doors open. That way, from whatever side or angle the kids are looking, they can see that we are open. So come on in, and I'll show you the rest of the way. So you've gotten in, your keys for opening up these doors are gonna be hanging up right here. Like I said, only 2 of the 3 doors have locks. I'll show you how to get into that 3rd door. Your sign-up sheet for dibs is gonna be right here to let us know you came. There's also some how-tos and some helpful info if you've never worked here and just wanna read through that. Then we're gonna come down here, we're gonna start opening up our doors. The very last door, we have a couple little latches on the sides. You want to pull those in and they'll lift up freely. We won't need a key for that door. Again, all 3 doors will be opened. So then once you have that opened, you go ahead, you wash your hands right away before you start going around and touching any food or equipment that's going to have food on it. Hand sink here, also next to where we wash the dishes is a hand sink. So then the first thing that I would start with is we do have covers to come in and drip trays. We have a drip tray for our ices. We have a drip tray for our cappuccinos and coffees. And then we also have to turn on right away the pretzel machine. That's off to the side. And then we will turn on our popcorn machine. And when we turn on the popcorn machine, we only want to make sure that right away you can turn on the light warmer and the kettle heat. You do not need to turn on the kettle motor until after you put in the oil, the popcorn, and the seasoning. As we get into the concessions with the doors opening, we're gonna have a key here, and one of them will get you in eventually. We gotta make sure there's a little latch here. You might have to pull down and slide it over. Then you just kind of guide it up. Try not to let it fling up. So that's how this window and also the middle window will go. And if we want to go to do the other one. All right. After you have your locks off, you can go ahead and just hang them back up with your keys. That way when you're going to be closing. The last door, like I said, opens a little differently. It has latches on each end. You just push down and slide both latches. And then that should come right up for you. All right. Now you've got your doors open, and now you need to make sure that your register is on and operating. Everything's plugged in. So you just go ahead and you'll just tap the round button, and it should bring up everything. You'll want to go and just open it up and go to checkout. It'll bring up your display of all the menus and the items that are on there. Again, we'll make sure green light on the printer and everything's plugged in. Each drawer is going to have a start of $200 in it. That is including the coin. Little different this year. We are going to be counting the coin as well. That way we can account for every dollar and quarter that comes through here, and that's deposited in. All right, guys, so we're gonna start with the cappuccino hot chocolate maker. In order to get into here, you just kind of give it a nice little snug pull. And we've got 3 compartments, 2 have hot chocolate in them, and 1 French vanilla. In order to change these, first of all, your product, most products are gonna be underneath the machines for easy restocking. And before you pull one of these out, you want to make sure this lever right here, you might make a little mess, but that's better than if you did not flip that up. Flip that up and just give it a little pull straight out. And then you're able to open the top and fill that. Then the back end just simply goes straight in there. And you make sure you remember to turn that around. And that's good to go. Now coffee, usually practice nights, we're only gonna make 1 pack worth. We do have the coffees right underneath. Nice instructions here for a small batch, medium and large. Small batches pretty much every night. It's just gonna take 1 bag. Also have the coffee filters. Pretty easy, most of us have made coffee, maybe not this way, but we have the filter, you put it in, empty the bag into there, and then slide that back in. We wanna make sure that the top for this to drip into is open. There's no obstruction, otherwise it's gonna overflow everywhere. And then all you simply do is hit the brew button, and that's gonna go on, off, and make itself. When you're done, pull this out, dump out the grounds. Next thing, food. That covers the drinks, food, mac and cheese. We probably all made an easy mac and cheese in a cup, but how we can do it here, we're just gonna use this very hot spigot of water. We'll fill that up to the line. And I also like to, just for the sake of making it a little faster, I'll throw it in the microwave for about 1 minute. After I've done that, make sure you pull this plastic top off, otherwise that might melt a little. So water first, stir it. You can go ahead if you want, you can put the cheese in after that while it's baking, or just wait till the very end, that's up to you. Ramen noodles, you don't have to nuke them if you don't want to, but what you need to do is fill it up with the hot water spigot again, and it has to sit for about 3 minutes. You can have it sit here, then give it to the customer, or if you want, they can take it. I think with children, you probably shouldn't give it to them. Tell them it'll be about a 3-minute wait, then hand it to them once it's cooled down a little bit, and then the noodles should be ready. If you do want to speed it up and make it faster, you can put it in for another minute like the mac and cheese. When I come in, pretty much every practice night, I would say 2 pretzels to start with. They're already thawed. You can just set those in there, and if you need to make more, or once one goes, you can always replace. These pretzels are very easy, microwaved. They come out really well because they're very big. So all we would have to do is about a minute, minute and a half. You can always just kind of do it by the feel. You'll have gloves on, put it in the microwave for a minute if it's from the thawed state. Kind of feel it, make sure that it's warm enough. Then before, right here, you're gonna give that pretzel, before you put it in the microwave, if they want salt, a little spritz. You're gonna open up the salt, you're gonna turn the pretzel over and dip that into the salt. We will have 2 areas for cheese, just for convenience when all 3 stations are going, maybe probably only on girls and boys high school games. So this one won't be on all the time, the other one will be by the other register on the front counter. And we give 1 big cup of cheese. We are not going to add extra if someone wants extra cheese. Not very many people want extra cheese, so really adding on that extra quarter or 2 is not worth it. Just give them 1 more thing of extra cheese. And then for the popcorn, we're gonna start with 1 batch on practice nights and make it as soon as you're empty on the 1 batch. Go ahead and make a 2nd batch. For this, what's really important here is for about 5 minutes prior, we wanna make sure we have the lights on, and we wanna have the kettle heat started so it starts to warm up. Then after about 5 minutes, you're gonna grab your oil. We do have a very nice handy little instruction guide here, and we get 1 heaping cup of the kernels. We put that in first, and then we're going to do 5 ounces of the popping oil. And then lastly, we do 2 scoops of the Flavacol butter flavoring. Put that all in there. We close this up, and then we're going to hit the kettle motor. So that's gonna start mixing everything together. It's already hot and ready, so within the next 3 to 4 minutes, it's gonna start popping. The popcorn's gonna start bubbling over. Once you start seeing that, you're gonna have to go ahead and grab this black handle, and you're gonna wanna dump the popcorn out. If it stays in there too long, you're gonna have burnt popcorn, and everyone in the arena is gonna know it and smell about it. So you definitely want to pay attention to the popcorn when you're making popcorn. All right, so now we've got nachos. Just grab 1 bag. We got a boat. You can go ahead and 1 or 2 things of cheese, depending on if I give them 1. If they ask for 2, go ahead and do that. You fill that up here. Make sure when you come in, this gets plugged in. There's a nice little light that turns on when you plug in the cheese. That way you will know that that is going to start warming up. At night we unplug that. And then that is the nachos. That one's pretty easy.
How do you refill it?
Like the pretzels. You make me refill it too. All right, so let's lift the top off here. We're gonna have the bags right. So we got a little piece there that goes in. Once you use the puncture tool, there's gonna be a clear piece that you attached. You drop that right down through in the hole there. The puncture tool goes right back and actually just sets right back in there so we don't lose it. And then there's a weight to keep all the cheese down towards the bottom. Just throw that in there. You'll have your temperature that will show up here. Right now it says 82 it's going to. I think it'll get up to over 100 is what I've seen it at before. So that's how you replace this. There's also a nice handy dandy little how-to instruction on the dispenser. So that's it for the nachos. We've got cooler, same cooler, lots of new, different, fun products. We've got the Pepsi, of course. We do offer some root beer, but we're mainly going to be going to this 1919 root beer. It's a lot larger can. Very, very good root beer. We've got your Gatorade, plenty of electrolytes. BioSteel is a very big one for the athletes. Prime, those refueling energy drinks are really great for the athletes. And of course the water. We will be doing pizzas. I think the biggest thing this year that we need to do is offer any type of food even on practice nights, but they'll be made to order. On game nights, high school, we will have pizzas made just in case, maybe one at a time. But if someone comes up after practice, say tomorrow night, and they say, I want to buy a whole pizza, I'm going to say it's going to take about 15-20 minutes, but yeah, I'll put it in because they are going to buy the whole pizza. We won't even have to put it in the warmer. We just go ahead and cook it and give it to them. Some kids are here with siblings and they're here for 2 hours, 3 hours. So if someone wants a full pizza, we'll go ahead and turn on the oven and back. I'll show you where that is. This is the warmer for game nights and tournaments when we will be just keeping it in here for display and easy access. We do also have in here, there's a couple little plates, and these plates need to be full of water, both plates. It gets the heat to be more moisturized heat instead of dry heat. That way it'll keep the pizza from drying out. So we need to make sure that when we are going to turn this on, we have the light, we have the heat, and then we go ahead and we can just crank it up to between 160 and 170. It's really not gonna cook the pizza anymore. It's just gonna keep it warm. So that is for the pizza. We won't need to use this because we won't make it on practice nights, only if it's ordered the whole pizza. Otherwise, the only time we'll use that is game nights and tournaments. Then we've got the hot dog and brat warmer. Again, this will probably only be game nights for high school and then also tournaments. We will always have thawed brats and hot dogs in the back refrigerator. Again, we can make those in the microwave, no problem. Minute and a half, probably 2 for brats. We will have thawed buns as well. So that would just be go back, grab the bun and hot dog and put that in the microwave. I would start with just the hot dog or brat by itself in the boat, and then you could add the bun after. So right here, we just usually put this on about 4 to start. We want to make sure that if they don't get too burnt, that they're going to be nice and warm and hold long. So our biggest thing is trying not to over prep and overuse things that we have to throw at the end of the night. So I think starting with on game nights, maybe 4 to 5 hot dogs, maybe 2 to 3 brats. Like I said, they're already all pre-cooked, so nuking them in one of the microwaves is not a big deal. I'm sure we've all done that. We also do have, like I said, washing hands when we come in. When we handle any of the hot dogs or buns, we do use the gloves, the boats. Everything's usually right in the area of where you need it. And then pretty self-explanatory, the icing machine, slushing machine, we'll have the cups here, whether they want one flavor or mix 2. We will have a drip tray here. You can ask them if they want to cover. Most may not, and they may want just a spoon instead of a straw. so we may not even have to use a cover. So you can ask them if they want one, but very self-explanatory. You just go ahead and pull down on that. Like I said, we can switch, add both colors, and that's pretty much it. All right, our two-door freezer is going to be the home of mozzarella sticks, which are new this year, chicken fingers, chicken strips, fries. We have all of our novelty ice creams in here, the mini donuts, and then we're gonna have our pizzas, hot dogs, brats, buns, our brownies that we keep frozen until we need them to thaw and we bring out to sell, and also cookies. So last year I know we had some little baggies that we would pre-do the mini donuts in, and then we put them in a boat. So I think this year all I kind of did was put the mini donuts in the boat already and just covered them with a little bit of saran wrap. That way, really the only thing we're wasting is the saran wrap, which costs a little less than the bags. So I just figured we can always just restock those, have a few on hand every night. So that's something you can look for restocking as well and doing. All of our utensils that we may need if you're gonna be doing a pizza or need some tongs, measuring cups, towels, any extra containers. There's not much, so we just try to clean it up and not have a lot of product you don't need in here. There are some extra parts for things, but basically everything you see you may need. Then we'll move back here to the fryer. So the fryer, when you come in and you start your shift, you want to make sure you come over and just hit on. It takes about 10 minutes, I believe, if that, to warm up fully. And then all the instructions you need on how to run this fryer. Quick run through is if you're going to do chicken strips by itself, it's going to be 7 minutes. If you're going to do fries by themselves, in the past it's been 4 minutes, but people have said they'd like them a little crispier, so we're going to up that by 1 minute, and fries are going to be 5 minutes now. So if somebody decides they want a combo of chicken strips with the fries, you're gonna go ahead and drop your chicken strips first. You're gonna wait 2 minutes to that 5 minute mark, and then you're gonna drop your fries in to join those. And then at the end of the total 7 minutes, this machine will just dump out that whole combo for you. So it explains how many to put in per time. Mozzarella sticks cook really, really fast, and I have a feeling we'll be doing a lot of those. It's 5 mozzarella sticks per order. That only takes 2 minutes, 45 seconds. So definitely I would suggest, if you are running this on game nights, that you primarily stay in the back and someone stays close by and is just kind of running the fryer. The idea is to get a lot of this going and getting the food going out, so one person to hear is really helpful. We do have our warmer back here now. It was up front originally, but a lot of traffic going past there. Just want to keep the food away from any other contaminants that might hit it out in the open. That way it just looks also a lot more fresh, like it came from the back and was just cooked instead of sitting out underneath the warmer for everyone to see. So if we are going to make to order, obviously game nights, we're going to go ahead and make a little bit more ahead of time so that we don't have that backup or that wait. But it can sit back here for about 30 minutes, I believe, and we usually don't have too much left over. We do pretty good with that. Then the pizza makers. Pizzas are going to be right here. Go ahead and we'll plug them in. You turn it to about 375. We've all made pizzas. This is kind of no different. It's about 16 minutes, about 375. Just depends on if it's been being used or not. I usually do at home, I do 450. They are Giovanni's, they call for 450 with Giovanni's for about 15 minutes. These are a little bit smaller, they are very hot. So I would start at about 425 actually for this and go about 14 minutes and check it. You can always stand back here, very easy to open, close. These are units that usually the more you use them, it could be a little temperamental and go ahead and start cooking in 12 minutes compared to the first one might take 16 or 17. So again, these are foods we've all made, so I think that will catch on. You can pull this out, slide your pizza right onto the pizza plate and cut it right here, and then we'll be able to carry this out front if we are filling that front warmer. We can go ahead and grab a tongs and we can place the pizza right on the trays in the pizza warmer. We do have the plates underneath the pizza warmer that when someone does get a slice of pizza, we can use the tongs and put on the plate out front. This is our one-door fridge. This is where we're going to be having pretzels thawing. Hot dog and brat buns are the same, and then our hot dogs and brats will be thawing in here as well. We have our marinara sauce, our ranch, and also our barbecue in here. We just come back to order and grab those. And again, having those all thawed out at all times makes the cook time for anything in here under 2 minutes. So a lot quicker. And then we've got our backup drinks all back here. I like to keep them cold. We can restock at any time, only about 6 deep, as most people know. We don't want to be overstocking the front. And the rest of the food products, paper products, anything that need to be refilled that isn't a food product necessarily, paper, will all be on this shelf. The backup food that's not already out is also back here. Not a whole lot of inventory or stock. We like to just use what we have and then order more. All right, guys, we're going to close down our till right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I put this on. I'm going to make sure that I'm at the main checkout page. I'm going to hit charge and it's going to say confirm the charge so I can open up my drawer. So if you ever get locked out and you forgot to give someone back your change, that's also another way to do it. Just go ahead and hit charge twice. My drawer here is going to have all the money that we made from the previous few hours. I'm going to go ahead and count this all, the cash, and then I'm going to also count all the coin. So once I've done that and I've written down my number, and I'm going to go ahead and say I had $283.25 is what I had total. But what I know is I have to leave $200 in my till, so I'm going to take that $200 out. And I'm going to have left $83.25. That's going to be my deposit, or so I hope. So how do I know what I need to owe? I'm going to go back up to my register. I'm going to hit more on the bottom right. I'm going to go to reports. Then we got this fun box with an arrow on the top right, and it's going to say print. And I am going to tell it to print again. It's going to print me out a nice little receipt here that's going to tell me that I have so much cash due. So here's the sheet I printed out a little bit ago. It popped out and it's going to tell me what my sales and how much was collected. And right up under payments, total collected, it's telling me I have $83.25 that is due, which would be right on. So I would make sure I have $83.25, and I put this with the cash in the 1/4 in the deposit bag, which you'll find the deposit bag in the back room in the cabinetry right underneath the safe that you can't miss. So when I get that in the bag with the money, I go ahead and put that bag right into the drop safe. You want to check it, make sure that bag dropped down. Sometimes it gets stuck because the bag's kind of big, so make sure that that money drops down in there. And again, we are counting the coin. That is different from years prior, but they are only quarters, so that's probably the easiest coin to count. So the reason being, we just want to account for every dollar we bring in. If you have any questions, again, call or text me and I'll be here to help you out, either over the phone or I won't be far. So, okay, so end of the night we might have some dishes. Mainly it's going to be the drip trays from the coffees and the slushy, and so we'll bring them back here. These are already pre-done, so we just make sure we turn the handle and that will plug the sink. It's kind of your sink stopper. And this is the dish detergent, so we just push it in and turn to the right, and that's going to stay in there, and it will just mix the proper amount of soap with the water, and that's where our dishes can soak. And then once it's filled up for however, you just push to the left, let it pop out, closing them. So down's going to keep it in, and up is going to empty that. This is our rinse sink, so after we've washed, we go ahead and just turn on the water. And we're gonna rinse that off. Then we've got our cloth sanitizer right here. Dishes after we've rinsed, we put in here. They soak for only 1 minute, and then we can go ahead and move them to the drying rack. As long as they've been in there a minute, then they're sanitized. Same thing, turn in and to the right. That will also mix the correct amount of sanitizer and water. And then when we go ahead and wipe down any of the counters or the tables out in the lobby, we will grab a handy dandy spray bottle here, and we just simply put this right in there. Same thing, push in, and you just hold it. This one you don't even have to turn, you just hold it in. And it's going to fill that up again with the solution that's food safe, so that it can, if by accident, hit anything. It's equipment safe and table safe. So in between customers, when we're not busy, you kind of recover. I know during high school games it's very busy. Things kind of get chaotic. So during that time you can restock. Like I said, everything should be out underneath, pretty close and handy to restock for you. You can wipe everything down, go out to the lobby. A lot of those tables are going to get dirty. Spray them down, wipe them down. Popcorn's a big one that we can sweep up a little bit with the dustpan and brooms that we have. I think it's really important, especially when we have visitors coming in, that we keep our food area and also our lobby looking very clean and nice. About it. Not every night does it have to be mopped in here, definitely swept. I think about once a week, or we'll be able to see when it starts to get a little grimy. I don't think it needs to be every night, once a week, twice a week, or in the winter, probably more. But once we start to see that it is, we've got the mop sink over here, very similar to the clean sink. We'll put the mop outside here, and this is the floor cleaner. We push that in, and it will fill up the bucket. I'm sure we've all mopped once or twice, but that's where we get the solution that goes on the floors. All right, so our safe area, you don't have to worry about this safe. This is where our money will go. I'll come down after counting my till. There is another piece of paper here that we ask you to put your name and the date. It does ask you what amount of bills you have, how many 20s, how many 10s, how many 1s are in here. And then you just put your total cash deposits. You'll have 2 pieces of paper, the printout from the register, this giving us your information, and then the money. You will put it in a nice little fancy bank bag, and then you're going to go ahead and put this in here. There's not a whole heck of a lot of room, so sometimes it won't go down on the first try. So you want to check it, make sure it's not in there. It went down, it did, you're good to go. Okay.